So, thanks for tuning in to episode 3 of the Aligned Self podcast. This is a really exciting episode. We cover a lot of topics on the surface, so we're definitely going to come back for another one. But I am talking with Barbara Gerhäuser, who is a spiritual coach, shamanic healer, and horse communicator, who is developing a very unique healing center. And we cover a lot of related topics, particularly in her shamanic approach to healing with horses, which is like incredibly unique and sacred given her background. And so you'll hear a little bit about this, as well as, of course, where we are right now and what it means to be able to like prepare ourselves for moving into the year of the horse and the shamanic significance of working with this energy. So I hope you enjoy this and do remember to subscribe, give this a like, drop a comment, especially with any questions that this brings up for you. And yeah, I hope you enjoy it and support the podcast for the next episodes. All of Barbara's links I will have in the description below. And if you're on Instagram, you can follow each of us there. And don't forget to like my post, repost it, put it in your stories, and yeah, just help share this podcast. So thanks very much. And yeah, hope you enjoy it. Okay, thank you so much for joining us, Barbara. Um, Another time zone across the ocean. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
So for our viewers, this is a very special episode. I'm really honored to be here with Barbara and to have this conversation with all of you who will be listening later. So Barbara is the founder of Shining Souls, which is a sacred and highly unique space for healing that brings together spiritual coaching with a shamanic approach to horse riding and communication, and to facilitate healing with horses who are natural teachers and mirrors for human growth. And with over 2 decades of, she has been immersed in shamanic studies, energy healing, and she has a lifetime of professional horsemanship. So her work really supports individuals seeking to clear out old patterns, to find and regain balance, alignment, and reconnection with one's essence. So that's just the surface. I've, benefited from Barbara's work, and she does a lot of deep, deep healing, working with direct presence, energetic presence. And so that's some of what we are going to be talking about. Um, so yeah, maybe we can start in on that topic. Just you have a shamanic approach to horses and also using a path of horsemanship to your energetic healing. So this is a very unique, very special intersection. And, we would love to hear more about the core of that, the depth of that. So, maybe we can start just right in the middle because there's a lot of complexity in this fabric, but do you want to talk about what's the core of all of this for you? Let's just jump right into the center and we'll go from there.
Okay. So thank you again for having me here. And I love to introduce a little bit about what is it about shamanism and shamanic healing. And you asked me first how I was drawn to shamanism. And to be honest, in the beginning, I was completely, or in the beginning of my life, I was on a completely other path. So I was really caught up in the material world. I was caught up in, of course, corporate world. And it came to a point that I was quite burned out. And this was the time where I seeked something completely different. And of course, universe will help us when we ask or when we pray for a new approach or for something new. And since I was in my teenage age, I was always drawn to Native Americans, and I'm pretty sure that my soul belongs to Native American tribes. And of course, I came to shamanism through a very close friend of mine. And I was really blessed that my teacher and mentor, I met him at the first. So I know that universe brought me to him. And he is really a very grounded shaman that is really deeply educated in shamanism. So, and of course, it makes me curious about what is it about, why I'm so drawn to this path. And when I think about it's about that they are, the shamans are really there for reconnect to nature, showing us the way how we live according to the elements and balance the elements within so that we are in a kind of inner peace and freedom. This was one point. And the other point is that they are living in tribes. That means they know how to be respectful to one another, how to honor the divine feminine, the divine masculine, and bring it together. And this was, yeah, this were the main points why I was so drawn to these shamanic studies that I did now for decades. Let's name
Hmm.
it like this. Yeah.
So it's sounding like a key element here, and of course, I'm not an expert in shamanism. I'm familiar with aspects, of course, but interconnectedness is what I'm hearing, right? A kind of, everything is alive, everything is interconnected, and a lot of your focus has sounded like it's on the energetic balance, the energetic exchange, um, and this kind of like recognition of the divinity in everything, within, without.
That that's completely true. This is yeah that the, all these native tribes, let's name it like this, all these native tribes honor that all living beings and honor that everything has a soul, everything is alive, as you said. It's really the divinity. And then they have a really good way to explain how to access universal energies. That means that we can really connect to the source of all, to our home. Uh, they call it underworld, upper world, and underworld, and here on Earth, the middle world. And yeah, this is the reason why you will find so many answers how to connect to your own energy field, how you can sense the energy within all living beings, and therefore you are much more yeah more sensitive or more you have more um how to explain it, you can recognize every living being much better, yeah, because we use all our senses. And this is why I'm so drawn to this way of living, yeah, first of all in tribes, second back to the nature, because I think we as a society we lost the connection to nature completely. And furthermore, we destroy it more than we give back. And everything is exchange, whether it's energy or giving something back. And we are nourished from the nature everywhere, but we lost this consciousness. And therefore, and of course, the horses are here just to explain it a little bit, the horses are on earth that they prepare us for other dimensions, that they give us back what we already had in ancient times, and even more that we are conscious about our energy and how to live in presence, how to come back to our soul essence, how to find our inner peace. That means is regulate the nervous system. It means it is also our heart expansion is always there because the coherence of the heart energy is 15 times bigger than ours. And whenever we are close to horses, this is why they are called the healers on earth. We open our hearts, our energy field expand, and it will be much more stable or much more uh, uh, ignited, I would say. Yeah,
Mm.
that we really feel the presence of our heart. And it also belongs to the breath of the horses because the horses actually, in her physical body, they only have the chance to inhale. The exhale happens through the diaphragm. That means they release the air through the diaphragm, not to exhale. And
Isn't
that's
that
interesting. Yeah.
is that
Sorry.
this that's the same as humans, isn't it? Because it's partly a reflex.
Yeah, it's
We're also not like pushing.
hardly, but we can do it with our muscles. And horses exhale is done by the body, by the diaphragm. We can breathe in and breathe out by our own will, let's say. Horses only can breathe in, like they breathe in for oxygen and then the diaphragm pushes it out. It's not that they exhale physically.
That's fascinating. I mean, it's a little side topic, but it reminds me of how, the different kinds of autonomic systems other species have, right? With dolphins,
Yeah,
how
yeah.
and not just dolphins, but in their brains, right? They can half of them can stay asleep while the other half is still awake and monitoring so they can sleep in the water and it's fascinating. So,
That's really fascinating. And when we come back to the breath, it is that when we breathe like the horses, that means really this is like a meditation breathe. In yoga sessions, you call it waterfall breathe. That you really let the air out by itself, no pressure, just let it out by itself, and you breathe deeply. And this brings you in the present moment. And when you think about that, the horse is doing it by nature, you know that they are much more in presence from the body, from the physicality, also as they are. And this makes most of the people much more calm and brings your nervous system down. That means when you're stressed and when you arrive at the barn, the horse sense what's going on in your field, and the horse will show you if you are in the right energy or not.
okay, yes.
This is how they react.
So there's so many topics in that, so many areas we can look at. I let's go back a little bit again to like your shamanic experiences. I'm just curious if so number one, if you're so I know you have always been a horse rider, a horse trainer, professional in the horse business in Germany, and but did you, when you first started walking in the shamanic path and were doing your studies, were horses always a part of that for you, or did you also have like some other individual experiences in your training before you started more to integrate it with what you were doing with horses, if that
Yes.
makes sense?
Yes. It was in the beginning, it was two separate paths, I would say, because it was more about, with a horse, it's more about riding. I always felt that they are my anchor in my life, and I always honored the horses. I always had a more connection than other people. Maybe a little insight that I always had horses that they were broken from other people or not in the best shape. And when I started to train them, they came back and even better than before. So we had always this really deep connection, also on the energetic level. But I had not any awareness about it. It is just by nature. It was just by nature. It's just by reflecting now. And then when I started to tap into this past and study and learn more about what is it all about, it was all about opening my consciousness, opening my awareness, uh, learning what is my energy field, how is it, and how to connect to spirits, let's say, how to connect to other energy. And I was completely blank because my I haven't had any experiences before, but I it's like you step into a university study and you find a professor and he tells you about this and that, and you are completely drawn into it. And I found the right one at the first moment in that time of my life where I needed it most. And so it came really natural to me that it went deeper and deeper. And as I said before in the beginning, my teacher and mentor, he is very grounded. He wants to bring this ancient wisdom from the shamans to the modern society. And he wants to explain that we are living here on Earth in a universe, let's say. This is a completely own universe. The universal energies are real that they are real as the, sorry, I
The
paused.
physical world.
Yeah, our Earth is one reality, the universe is another reality. Both are realities, but they have different laws. And what happens now in the society through all the spiritual teachings, that they mix up the laws. Yeah, here on earth is duality, and the universal reality, there is nothing else than light, love, and light energy. They have no uh, shadow side or whatever. Yeah, they have no clue about this. So, and we have to separate it a little bit. Not that we don't want to have an access. We have enough access. We have access to all these energies. But to live here, we have to translate it a little bit. As like you are an expert in languages, yeah. And this is how do I translate these energies? And this is sometimes a little bit confusing, yeah, because for example, when I talk about power animals, of course, in the other world, there are real power animals. But here we talk about the energy of the animal. It's not a physical animal. The physical animal is here on Earth, and we have an understanding what the energy of the animal is. And so we can get the access from the other world through power animals. This is
Hmm.
really shamanic
That
tradition.
that's a great topic. Because
Yeah.
obviously, we everyone knows we're moving into the year of the horse, which I think it starts like February 17th with that new year And I was wondering if like you had any thoughts on just what you also just said, like is there a difference between the energy the horse's energy versus horse as a power animal, like a shamanic significance of horse energy, or do we get that right? Like, is there it's related, it's a continuum, or is there a kind of duality, like you just said, that our 3D relationship with horses versus more of this 5D higher dimensional relationship with
Right.
horse energy from a shamanic point of view, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, it makes sense. Of course, when we talk about, and I think it doesn't matter if it comes from the Chinese horoscope or from the shamanic point of view. We talk about the energy of the animal. We talk about that we can use these energies, and I'm pretty sure this is what we can see as a metaphorical bridge to the other world. Yeah. And I strongly believe that we have been here now in the year of the snake. And when you observe the snake here as a physical animal, snakes are always shedding the skin to grow. And this is what happening in the last year. The snake asked us to really go into a transformation, try to grow out of your old skin. Yeah, really observe yourself. What can you release, or what can you let go in order to have a more the ability to move on, the ability to start anew. Because additional to this, we had the year of the nine in numerology, and the year of the nine is a year of endings. But the nine is also new beginning. And therefore, we have to sort out. We have to really think about, do we really need this? Is it really for us not affordable? Is it for us
Sustainable.
important, yeah, sustainable, important, yeah, to move on? Or is it maybe outgrown? Should we shed this skin in order to move on, in order to grow? And the snake is so close to the earth. That means it
Hmm.
means also the reconnection to earth. Whatever we don't need anymore, give it back to the earth. The earth will
Hmm.
transform it, like a tree will transform. Yeah,
I like that. Yeah.
and this is what we can use. This is the energies and also the behavior, what the animals are doing here. So we can easily translate these energies, how we can move on, how we can ask for support of the energy of the snake. Or now is the year of the horse. And I love this. Personally, I am a horse in Chinese horoscope. No
That's
coincidence.
amazing.
And also a fire horse because it's a year of the fire horse.
So this
And
is like doubly your year.
this is doubly my year, yeah. The new starts, the new beginnings. But it is about let us carry on, move on. A horse is always strength, movement, also trust,
Flow.
because the flow,
I get flow.
trust. Think about also trusting yourself. And this is not a time for waiting, it's a time for action. It's a time to step into the new and take your responsibility and really move on. And the horse will carry you everywhere. Whenever you give him a sign, yeah, to let it go. When we come back to the shamans are traveling often into the upper world, into the underworld, to meet the energies, to really reconnect with the universal energies. And they call their drum, because this is a drum rhythm when you're traveling. when you do shamanic journeys, you have this drum rhythm, and the drum is called the horse of the shaman. Interesting.
Amazing, amazing.
Yeah.
That's
And
beautiful.
and this is the rhythm. Yeah. The rhythm, keep going, keep moving. Yeah. This is the energy of the horse. And
And
so,
it fits too with the heart, right?
yeah,
The heart is our drum, and it's like
yeah,
an innate rhythm. I guess it points to this innate cycles and the innate our innate connection with our own temporality, with time.
yeah.
That's what I'm feeling.
Yeah, that's true. And this is also when, for example, with when you sit on the horse and when you try to really implement the horse's breathing with yours, that it's really coming together. You feel the connection with the rhythm. The riding is much more effortless.
That's interesting. When you're riding like that, and does it, maybe it depends on different speeds, I don't know, but does your breathing actually synchronize with the horse's breathing? Or because it's
Yeah,
doing more
often,
work?
often, often. Let's say often. It's not easy because this is really about really unconditional trust.
Hmm.
Because this is a little bit special, and I mean, maybe we should use this topic for another thing, but I always tell my writing students before you don't synchronize your movement with the horse of the movement, with the horse's movement, you cannot achieve writing, or you cannot come to a good writing. Because it's always that the both bodies are coming together. And you can see it with children, maybe sick children who cannot walk. When they sit on the horse, they feel that like they walk because they have no chance, yeah, to do something else. And then they come completely, they merge to completely with the movement of the horse, and all of a sudden they feel the legs of the horses as theirs.
Wow, this is so fascinating. This actually touches on so many things that I don't think I've really heard talk about publicly. So where should we go from here? Because in your own experience with horses growing up and what you learned, like well before you were in shamanism, because I think you've mentioned you've had in your past life for sure you have been with horses, and again you were born in the year of the horse. Um, what, did you already feel like you had, let's say, like telepathic experiences with your own horses? Because by the time you got to shamanism, it was like recognition. You felt it's like a fish in water, right? It was already so natural to you, and so that's not coincidence, right? So
It, um,
yeah, telepathy with your horses. What have you experienced in that regard?
this, when I reflect back, it was so many times that I talked to the horses in my mind, or yeah, telepathically, but I didn't it really aware full, or yeah, it was I just did it by underneath. I didn't think about it. It wasn't conscious to me. And interesting enough, maybe I should mention this here, because when I started to write, there was really like a military stuff. Yeah, every writing teacher really was really hard and really harsh. Yeah, that you have to learn it in this way and no other way. And you always got horses where you are a little bit afraid that you are, yeah, maybe you can fell off because it was too spooky for you or something like this. And after a while, I was really afraid of being on a horse, but I was always drawn back to the horse. Even when I was a little bit scared in, before a riding lesson, I wanted to be there. I wanted to be in the energy of the horses. I wanted to be there. And it cost me a lot to overcome my fears and my, how to say, my doubts that I can make it. And I wasn't so talented, let's name it like this. But also here, universe brought me always to the best teachers and mentors afterward when I overcame this pattern. And interesting enough, my first horse I bought was 20, I would say, my own horse. I rode before other horses, but my own horse was he was 3 years at that time, and he was with me 25 years until he died. And we did everything together. Every little step, what I did in my riding career was with this horse. And it was a quite, I would say, when you go according to the other horses, a quite normal horse. But his growth was more than other horses, and he had so much success on the competition, but he was always my best friend. We were always together. And even my daughter learned riding with 3, 4 years on him, and he was reliable till the end, yeah. And this was my first real experience with the other world, because with 28 he went sick, and I was afraid that I lose the point and he is alone on the field and I'm not there for him. And then I dreamt exactly how it will happen when his soul cross over.
Wow.
And I was like, I cannot believe it. And exactly 2 weeks after, it happens like in my dream. The dream was like a movie, and it happens everything exactly like I dreamt it before. And when you asked me for yeah, this telepathy, I think this was one of the steps why I wanted to hear more about the energetic realm, why I wanted to hear more about shamanism and how it relates to horses and how this is everything together. Because after years, when I had my complete horse and he died overnight, he had the message for me that I will go on a completely new path, and he will open the path, because when he will not go, I would hold on. The
And this
old
this was a different
scenery.
horse?
It was
Uh,
a different horse.
yeah.
This was a second one, yeah.
So yeah, you've received messages from
Yeah,
many of your horses.
yeah, from everywhere. And my mare came into my life right after this horse died, because when this horse died, I was really completely heartbroken. It was like one half of me died with him, and I refused to have any other horse. I don't want to have it, but they asked me for it because of competition and the horse business. And then my mare came into my life, and it it was a really nice story. We went to a horse dealer, and he asked me, what happened to your horse? And I said, nobody knows. He died just overnight without a reason. And he said, you need another horse. And I said, no, I will not have any other horse. And there she was, and she came into my life. And this horse is always on my side. And she's always telling me, up until now, she's teaching me every day something new. And she would be able to compete also from her movements, from her talent, from her gifts, of course. But she said, no way, that's not your path. Your path is something else. And I'm going to show you. And interesting enough, we had almost the same bio, the same vita. So, yeah, but more of this will come in my book.
Yes,
Most of
so
most of her sicknesses or something like this, we are like twins.
so that's amazing because what I'm seeing here, like this is so integrated. Like you're at this moment where you have really integrated all of these aspects of like your life history with your purpose, and this theme of transformation I see really coming through. No, as you say, these horses, they were broken in many ways when they met you, and you went through this mutual path of transformation together. And also with your career, that transformation between this corporatist mindset to how we relate to horses and all of species really, and then where you're taking it now. So this transformation is so beautiful because it's on all of these levels. How you're now moving this into this type of healing practice, healing space. And as
This
you
was,
said, the horse is literally, she mirrored your own life like a twin.
yeah, right. And this is the reason why I really felt drawn to, yeah, really found Shining Souls, because I will help people to see just that there is another way to feel much more comfortable, much more in peace, and much more in harmony with all these on all levels in your private life as well as in with the horse, and how you can connect so much easier when you are open for this energetic connection between your horse. But of course, you have to meet yourself first, and you have to be really honest, because the horses are also really honest what it means. They are really patiently. But you have to recognize yourself. Yeah, you have to see that you are a soul living in a human body and not the other way around, because most of the people believe maybe that they have a soul, but they believe that they are humans and that's it. And that's the biggest issue. Yeah. When I really expand a little bit my consciousness and see that I'm much more than my physical body. Doesn't mean that we shouldn't honor our physical body, because this is a temple of our soul. But we should see that we have much more capacity, and we have this energetic field around us.
Amazing. Um, how if we go back into some of your past experiences in shamanic studies, can you tell us about like one or two pieces of wisdom that you really gained, like experientially? Because I know it's all about an experience, the experience you have in these travels. Um, what would you say were if there was like one really transformative episode you had in terms of like getting to know your own soul, getting to know your own energy field, getting to know yourself really beyond your just your life history up to that point? Like, was there a single experience, or you had more in little doses over time? Because you've been doing this for 20 years, right?
Yes, right. I would say it's more in little doses, because, of course, there are different kind of shaman tribes, because this is also interesting. Shamans are all over the world. They are all yeah. There is no there could be also a Hawaiian shaman, yeah, or something like this, yeah. And with all these past life regressions, and with traveling, of course, shamanic traveling, you have a lot of experiences. But we really did it in baby steps, again and again and again. It is about being resilient, being always try to stay there, and try to be open for the energies, and then integrate it into your day-to-day life. What is for me, what is the best help is that we have activated our Merkebah field. Everybody has this Merkebah field around us. This is our energy field. And there is a kind of meditation what you can read everywhere, the Merkebah meditation, but we have activated this meditation with shamanic rituals like the medicine wheel and so on. That means every day I activate my energy field. And when you do this practice again and again and repeat it as every 24 hours, you will gain so much more access to this field. And this is your protection field as well as your energy field, yeah, your power field, yeah, that you can move on in your own power. But therefore, you have to be a little bit, yeah, I would say silent and patient and feel yourself and expand your consciousness that there are more energies around us that only what is seen, heard, or something like this.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And if you were to give, like, it sounds like that is one practice maybe that would you could recommend that to an average person who maybe they don't have any direct experience with shamanism yet, but this is one practice they could bring into their life, their daily habits, their daily practice to bring some of that wisdom into their own understanding. The Merkaba meditation.
Merkaba meditation is one of this, yeah, of course. And the other one, I would recommend them to really go a little bit more into the studies, what means the element of air, the five elements. And this will something what I want to also teach for my students because most of the people know the element air, but what does it mean and what are the deeper meaning of air? Yeah, this is not only that there's a wind or a storm or something like this. It's our thoughts and could be negative or positive and so on. And really to study a little bit more about the elements of life. Yeah, this
And
brings us back to nature. Yeah, the knowing about how this translates into our modern life. Because so many people are asking me, when you are so in shamanism, you want to go back to the living in the forest, and I said no, we can translate it into our day-to-day life, but there are some really ancient rituals, like also from Hawaiian shamanism, the Ho'oponopono ritual, where you have the forgiveness. Yeah, that's also a big part, forgiveness. It doesn't mean that you forgive somebody else. You only can forgive yourself. And this is about love yourself and forgive yourself. And interesting enough, this was also one of my past lives that I was a shaman, a Hawaiian shaman, Ho'oponopono shaman, who did the ritual. And in one of my shamanic travels, I saw myself in this field, in this forgiveness field. This is one
has
of the things what everybody can do. Yeah, just lay your hand on your heart and say, yes, I love myself as I am, and I forgive myself.
has dreamwork played a large role for you too? Like you've had some telepathic dreams, some shared dreams, I think with some of your horses. Is there a specific role for dreaming in the shamanic lineage you've worked with?
I wouldn't say that I dream so much. It's more when you travel shamanic or when you are doing meditation. But for me, yeah, I dream sometimes, but rarely, I would say. For me, it's not the biggest dream part. But for some people, could it be? But here we have to be careful because there was a time where I dreamt really hard things. Yeah. And I said to my shaman, oh my God, I don't want to fall asleep anymore because these dreams are really horrible. And he said, that be glad that you are dreaming about it, because your subconsciousness is like working through something, and you can release it through the dream. So don't see it as one-to-one. It's just that your subconsciousness bringing something up, and it don't has to be the same movie or the same scenery in your day-to-day life, because as soon as you wake up, it's gone. So, but you have worked through without going through in the physical.
Hmm.
That means it's clearing your mind as well. It's not that the prophecy is always there. Even when something dark happens in your dreams, it's most of the time that your brain or your subconsciousness will work through something just to bring it to an end.
So that's like an energetic interpretation of the dream function. It feels like,
Yeah,
as you said, like it's clearing out this kind of thought forms or energetic attachments, maybe. So
yeah,
it's less that there's like maybe any work that we have to do on the dream,
yeah.
as you said, remembering or whatever, but dreaming itself, that function has this clearing function.
Clearing function. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's true. Yeah,
So this is all really fascinating. And before we wrap up, let's just like circle back around to the year of the horse, right? A lot of people are talking about the year of the horse. We're coming up on the end of our calendar year. And I know it doesn't match up. It's not, January 1st is the year of the horse, but is there anything else you would suggest or offer to people listening to help take advantage or merge with this horse energy? Like, what are you emphasizing, or how are you feeling the difference now? We're moving from year of the snake into the year of the horse. We touched a little bit about the snake for sure, but more on what are these new opportunities that the horse energy can afford us?
yeah. Yeah, it's quite likely when we did our work this year. That means when we really transformed old things into a new, or are able to release maybe at the end of the year, or we have also time in January, that things, because when you see the horse has to carry all your luggage.
Mm,
And maybe you want to go with a little bit of lighter luggage with you. So if you pack your suitcase, unpack it again, and see if it is really necessary to carry it with. Because the horse will help you carry this, but the horse cannot carry all of you with the old stuff. That means when you are really ready to step into the year of the horse and the year of the one, the year of new beginnings, you should really come with very less luggage inside of you. So, and it's always a little bit hard because we all know it. We have all these habits and we have all these, what we call our comfort zone. We should look on our comfort zone. Maybe there is something that it's not so comfortable. We just do it because it has to be done, because it is so and so, and this is what we need. Because for the initiation that we can move on, that we can easily step into the new beginnings, we have to be clear on what we want to do. And therefore, it's really necessary that we come into our inner equilibrium, into our inner peace. That means, are we balanced, or do we still do something like that's, for me, it's always so easy to explain it according to the elements, because when I have too much air element and I'm always in my thoughts, it could be destroyed. It could destroy myself out of my own thoughts, or I just have thoughts and do bring nothing to action. And here is the fire element. From the fire horse, the element will bring everything into action. But you have to have a clear thought and an idea to bring something into action. And the fire element of the horse will help you to realize whatever you want to bring into the physical form, into the action. And then you need the water that everything comes to flow. And at the end, there's the stabilizing energy of the earth who holds everything together. And the circle begins. And then you have the spirit element who supports us. But the spirit element cannot support us when we have no idea. Maybe we want to do it, or maybe not, or we have to be clear. Do we want to do it? And then we move on. And
Clarity is really feeling that's like the core, right?
the clarity is the
Hmm.
core. The clarity, when you want to begin something new, you have to have the clarity. I want to do this. And of course, follow the truth of your heart. Don't let anyone tell you what is the truth. And it doesn't mean that you have to go against anybody. But for every decision, ask your heart, is it what I really want to do? Or is it what I would do because this is my education, this is my profession, this is my what upbringing or whatever? Is it really what I want to do it from my heart? With a lot of clarity, you can step into. The horse will bring you the power. The horse will bring you the movement. The horse will bring you the flow. Yeah, it is
Hmm.
about the trust.
Something
And
else, something I'm feeling too about this transition from the snake and taking this kind of maybe even an evolutionary perspective, shamanic type of perspective. It's interesting. The transformation is so different, right? A horse feels it very more higher dimensional to me than a snake. Of course, a lot of the reptilian classes do link with our older brain, like evolutionarily speaking, these kind of like instinctual circuits. Whereas when we are talking about a horse, there's a definite type of relationship intrinsically, I think, with humans, as we've
yeah,
talked about
yeah,
and so the horse is like also activating our relational centers. Like we are in relation, not just as duality, but as you've said, like this exchange, this flow, this interconnection, and there's a unity in that. And I was just feeling, yeah, I'm getting it's higher dimensional, right? Because we're moving into higher heart spaces when we think about this horse energy, and it's very integrated, as you said, even if it's considered fire horse, right? For me, like this horse is integrating, as you said, like the earth element, the stability
yeah,
flow with the water, definitely.
absolutely.
And with the
It
clarity at the core.
always all the elements has to be balanced. Yeah, that's every time. But for the Chinese medicine, or is it the fire element? And I just want to say one thing: the snake. You're definitely right. What you said about the horse and all this dimensional energy, but the snake is everywhere the healer because of the instinct. Yeah, it's the healer from your deepest instinct.
Hmm.
With the snake, you can go very deep into your, also in your instinct behavior.
Hmm.
And wherever you look, the snake is called also the healer. The horses are called the healer, but on another level and another dimension. And the snake is also the healer, but you have to be willing to let go or transform whatever it is.
Amazing. And you are like renewing your essence, really, right? Snake
Yeah,
is still the snake, the essence is still there, and it's just a renewal.
yeah, yeah.
So that's a great transition to if we want to wrap it up with this, because you are also bringing in, you have like an online program about working with the five elements. If you wanted to talk about that, because that is an online offering. So if anyone is interested, in this topic?
Yes. It will come up in January, latest in February. I will advertise it now. I have a program where you learn in a 5 weeks program about the 5 elements. That means air, fire, water, earth, and spirit element, and how this element are living elements are living within us on one side, and on the other side, how it relates to our day-to-day life. Because it's so easy when you talk about the air is not only the air, that these are more our thoughts and so on. And we will go really deep into all the patterns about the air. And then how every element relates to another. And at the end of the day, we should always find a balance between the elements. Because when you are too much in one element, and that's the best word for upcoming sickness is burnout syndrome. When you have too much fire element, you burn out. That's it. And so you can have too much water element and you will flow away. Nothing will happen because you are always flowing and you will not bring anything together. Even the water is there. And so this will be explained very deeply in this 5 weeks journey online, how you can really improve with every element and how you balance it out with the other element so that we are in the so-called equilibrium. And I mean, this is one of the most basic things in the spiritual, let's say studies, in spiritual studies, but the most profound. Because when you will remember which element is now too less and which it's maybe too much at the moment, and you try to balance it out with the other element, you will find a much more harmonious way of living, a much more calm in your nervous system, and so on. So this is how to come back and relate more to our nature than before. And
Beautiful.
of
Yeah,
course, the nervous system will calm down and so on, because you are not all the time on alert. And so you will learn a lot of these elements in a 5 weeks journey
perfect,
with
perfect.
meditations and how to really integrate these elements and this into your day-to-day life.
Great.
And
So for those who are interested, I will link both of your website and your Instagram is probably the best place to connect with you. But it's all on your website. The
it
Shining
is all
Souls, right? But
the
I will put
shining
the
source.
link
Yeah.
because there's a hyphen and yeah, so this has been a great conversation. For listeners, like if you have any questions, if you wanted to know more about anything that we covered, please let us know in the comments. We'll definitely be back to, I think, to talk definitely more about like the heart coherence, the bioelectricity. There's a lot of fascinating, detailed questions. And like I think you're really a leader in this area. Such a unique intersection that you're bringing together here. So, um, yeah, is there any final thoughts that you would like to share with our audience? Well wishes for the new year.
Yes. I would love that everybody recognize its own soul and recognize that it is really precious to have this human body and have this human life, even when it's sometimes a little bit hard, or sometimes you have some obligations or whatever. It is wonderful, and we should use this time coming back together. And this is maybe also a final thought for the year of the horse, because horses are living in tribes, and the horses know how to live in tribes. And I think it's so important to build new communities and be respectful against one each other or towards one each other, and not being too, how to say, hurry too much through our lives. Really see how precious it is to have this human body and to be conscious about all these energies around us. And for all the horse people, it is such a gift that we have our friends with us and we are able to really exchange the energies with such precious animals. And so I wish you a wonderful year of the horse. And I've been happy to answer questions. I've been happy to be here. And thank you again, Shannon, for inviting me for this podcast. And I really would love to, talk more about my lifelong love letters to horses or whatever, however you call it.
And we
Thank
will
you
be
so much for
reading that
listening.
eventually in your book.
Yes, here we are.
Yeah,
I'm supposed to write a book, and I'm pretty sure I will write down so many stories about what happening in a whole life. Yeah, but
perfect.
we will see.
Yeah.
Will take a while.
So let's just leave it
Thank you.
there for now. Thank you so much again. Thanks to all listening to this. If you've enjoyed this episode, give it a like, comment, share. You can add it to your playlist. We really appreciate it. Helps support the podcast, the channel, and we'll do more conversations like this. So thank you again, and we will keep talking. Happy
Thank
Year
you,
of the
and
Horse
goodbye.
to everyone.
Happy